I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Caleb Plant calling out Jermall Charlo. Now, I recall seeing the all access to their fight where Jermall was actually speaking to Caleb like, yeah, I hope you win. I'm really rooting for you, whatever. Well, apparently things aren't as friendly as they once seemed because Caleb Plant is calling out Jermall Charlo, and he did it on Insta. He posted this picture where you can see it's him versus Jermall Charlo, and it says 2022. The caption reads, "You've been indirect at Future of Boxing, so I'll be straightforward. We can figure it out by the end of the year. You're easy work." But it looks like Adrian Broner wants to throw his hat in there and said, "I'm back." So you see right here, Adrian Broner says, "I'm back." So random. I would turn it over to you, Spirit G. What's your reaction to Caleb Plant calling out Jermall Charlo? And we heard that he's in talks with Canelo, but if that fight doesn't pan out, what would you think about Caleb versus Jermall?
I mean, it's a good fight, you know, but I kind of feel like there was all this energy prior to the Plant Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So like now that Plant lost his belt, yeah, it's easy for you to be calling out other dudes. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't make sense for Charlo to pick Plant over Canelo. So unless after the Charlo Canelo fight, and let's just say Charlo loses, yeah, why not have Plant versus Charlo? Both losers of Canelo fight it out. I still think that would be a good showing. You know, I don't know if it'll be pay-per-view per se. It might not. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But it's still a good fight that people will want to see. You know, but as of right now, I think Charlo would be foolish to agree to a fight with Plant when you're in negotiations with Canelo. Like, so I'm assuming this is for a fight later on after the May 7th possible date. And if that's the case, then yeah, go for it, man. Charlo, hey man, yeah, why not? You know what I mean? I don't really see Plant as much as of a threat. You know, he doesn't have like the strongest hands. So even if you lose, you're just gonna be outboxed, but you ain't gonna be really knocked out per se. So Charlo, I mean, this is good for Charlo, but I really want Plant to call out Benavidez. Like the whole thing, like call my man David Benavidez out. You ain't got the belt now, so you ain't got to worry about him taking your hardware. Call my man's out. Make it happen. And that could be a pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will pay for that, you know? So, I don't know why Plant's going backwards, man. You already know who wants that smoke, that authentic smoke. He's been begging for years. Give my man David Benavidez a shot, man. He don't want no belts. He just wants your blood. That's all I'm saying.
Chill dollar bill.
Yeah, when Jermall met up with Caleb Plant in that hallway, the full exchange went like this. Like, I believe you can do it. I believe that you could win. And after you win, me and you can get it on. Mm-hmm. That was the conversation. Obviously he didn't win. But Caleb still wants to be up there in the big fights and making that same amount of money. He don't want to go backwards. So he's saying, who's the name right there? And it's Charlo. The problem is at the for Charlo, I think that this would be good. I want him to get in there with as much experience he can possibly get in there. Like I was saying on the previous episode, before the experience. That's what I want him to get, more experience with top level guys before his date with Canelo, if that ever happens. For some odd reason, I really think Canelo is going to move up and do something else. But If they can't make this fight, I think it's good for Charlo, but bad for Plant, because Plant coming off of such a physically taxing fight with Canelo, I don't think that his body is healed enough to go back into a fight in there with Charlo. Like my brother alluded to before, Charlo is not no slouch. He can actually punch, and he's a physical guy, big, and he has some boxing skills. So again, I think Caleb Plant against Charlo, he would be doing himself a disservice going into a fight right off the bat, going into Charlo, because I think Charlo will beat him, especially after coming off of that tough fight with Canelo, where his elbow bone was broken. Benavidez, he needs to stay away from Benavidez. G, you trying to get him sauteed up? You know what I'm saying? You trying to get him sauteed up. What he need to be doing is trying to go back to the drawing board and fight somebody with at least so he can figure out how his face is healed up and stuff like that, especially after a fight with Canelo. You don't want to go in there with a big never guy like that. I know you want to stay on the mainstay and getting that type of money, but if you want to stick around in this sport a little longer, be smart, you know? But yeah, I'm not mad at him for calling him out. That's what you're supposed to do, but be smart, you know? And if Charlo's trying to do some other things, these guys are, but that'll be a good fight for Charlo. That's all I'm saying. But bad for Caleb Plant. And I don't even want to bring up David Benavidez, because what he would do to Caleb Plant is,
I need to see that. It's like 2-3 years in the making. I need to see.
He'll David Benavidez. If David Benavidez comes in on money, he will retire
Plant.
Caleb Plant.
I agree with you. 100. Like our episode.
100, keep it in 100 on episode 100. All right.
All right. Earlier, we talked about Canelo and Jermall Charlo were in works to fight May 7th. That's on the table. This is just Caleb Plant calling out Jermall Charlo. Don't waste your breath on this. That's how I see it. You got nothing to gain out of fighting this man. He's just looking for, I don't know, Caleb looking for his next fight. Maybe try and move down because you know he can't hang in 168. And for me, you gain nothing out of beating him. You beat him, everybody be like, it's already been done. He beats you, he takes your belt. And then now y'all got to fight again because it's probably going to be a rematch in that. But for me, I say, I don't want to see this fight. But
You don't want to see this fight?
No, I don't. I don't think Caleb got the skills to handle Charlo. I don't. I'm not gonna pull a G, yo. Caleb, I liked you for a second, man. But,
and Charlo don't got no belt. Charlo don't got no belt at 160.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even know Charlo had a belt. I'm like,
got no belt.
At 160, I said Caleb moving down.
No.
Can't say he's moving down.
Yeah, I think he can hang in 168.
Ned he's moving down. Ned said he's moving down.
Yeah, I don't think he can hang at 168, yo, and I don't think he can hang at 160. But
it might have to be a possibility. He's the one calling out Jermall, so Jermall might say, "Hey, meet me at 160. And you got a deal."
Maybe Jermall want to watch him real quick. If you want to watch him, go ahead, yo. But the last pay-per-view struggle, yo. So I don't know about this one. I don't know if this was going to make any numbers. So pick your poison.
It's interesting, man. If I'm Charlo, and I always say this, it's about leverage and it's about making the best fight possible. I don't see how Caleb Plant is that option. Like Trill said, he's coming off of a loss where he was stopped by Canelo Alvarez. And if you beat him immediately after, you already know what people are going to say. I mean, in my personal opinion, the Charlos don't get the respect they deserve, particularly Jermall Charlo. When we start getting into our Jermall stuff, I'm going to tell you why Jermall is easily becoming one of my favorite fighters in the ring. But, like, when we talk about Jermall, like, what is he going to gain from beating Caleb Plant? Everyone's going to say, yeah, you stopped him. He's coming off a loss. You stopped him. He wasn't, all types of excuses are going to come out. So I don't see how it's beneficial for him. Then you got to look at the landscape of other fights he could have that would be more beneficial. Triple G would be more beneficial. Demetrius Andrade would be more beneficial. Moving up to fight Canelo Alvarez would be more beneficial. Hell, moving up to fight Benavidez if he wanted to would be more beneficial. So I just look at it as fighting Caleb Plant. They're probably about, to be honest with you, they're probably like 6, 7 people. There are probably other people I'm leaving out that he could fight, and it would be bigger than a fight with Caleb Plant. So yeah, he's throwing dirt on your name, and you want to get at him, right? Okay, you got to earn your way back, though. You know, you were in a position, you collected on that. That's a beautiful thing. You had the title, you collected $10 million, you took that L. But now you were paid and you're done. Charlo shouldn't be focused on fighting you now. Charlo should be trying to focus on getting his $10 million. He's getting his payday. So if payday come your way, punch that check. Get that check. You feel me? So that's what he should be focusing on, not trying to fight Caleb Plant. So I just don't think it's beneficial based on the fact that he's coming off of L, based on the fact that we got to see how he's going to come back from the loss. And within his own division, we're sick of this within his own division. Triple G's fighting Marat or something like that. Boo Boo ain't got nobody to fight. We trying to see them fight each other. That'll be more. I'm going to close with this. I remember this. Heavyweights, middleweights, and welterweights were always my go-to divisions. You could always find great fights in heavyweight, middleweight, and welterweight. And to this day, it never fails. Those still stacked divisions, but it's just today, they don't fight each other. So if he don't fight Canelo, there are numerous fights out there that are way more appealing than Caleb Plant.
And also, too, just to add, Caleb Plant can't get mad if Charlo turns him down, because it's the same thing with David Benavidez. When David lost his belt, you was like, hey, he ain't got no hardware. I don't have to fight him. And that was understandable, especially when you was negotiating with Canelo. So now you in the David Benavidez seat. You just got to wait your turn, man. Stay in that corner and just hopefully you get that Charlo shot maybe 2 years down the line. I don't know, but I don't see Charlo doing that this year.
Shoot.
AB's back.
Hey, listen. You can do the battle of the no belts. You can go and risk it all against David Benavidez because y'all both don't got no belts.
I'm telling you, they don't need belts to sell out that one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He don't want to do that. And AB is back. What do you mean by he's back? He's back on Instagram under his real name. That's what he was trying to let everybody know that he's back. You know what I'm saying? Back on.
That's a random post to do it. That's a random post to do it under, right?
AB better say AB's back at 140. You know what I'm saying?
144 undisputed champion. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. This is exactly our 100th podcast episode, and we are the Boxing Bros.
100.